Long before borders were drawn and flags were raised, there were roads, winding through deserts, across oceans, and over snow-capped peaks. These ancient arteries carried more than just goods. They carried stories, cultures, ideas. Spices moved. So did silk, salt, and gold. But so too did religion, language, art, and war. This is not just the tale of trade. This is the story of how the world was woven together by unseen threads, forged not in treaties, but in footsteps. Welcome to Legacy Unearthed, where the greatest legends come to life. Chapter 1. The Silk Road. Empire on the Move. The Silk Road wasn't a single path. It was a sprawling network of routes stretching over 4,000 miles, from China through Central Asia, Persia, the Middle East, and into Europe. It began during the Han Dynasty, as China sought markets for its shimmering silk. But silk was just the beginning. Soon, jade, tea, and porcelain flowed westward, while horses, glassware, and even Roman silver flowed east. Caravans crossed scorching deserts and freezing mountains. Every stop was a marketplace, not just of goods, but of knowledge. In these towns, east met west. Ideas mingled. Buddhism spread into China. Islamic mathematics traveled eastward. It was a highway of exchange and espionage, and it would change history forever. Chapter 2. The Incense Route, the Scent of Empire. In the arid heat of Arabia, another trade route thrived, quieter but no less powerful. The Incense Route. From the lush groves of southern Arabia, caravans carried myrrh and frankincense. Sacred resins burned in temples and palaces across Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Rome. These weren't just perfumes. They were spiritual tools, weapons of ritual, offerings to gods. The route spanned 2,000 miles, with camels hauling treasures across vast deserts. Tribes grew rich, kingdoms rose. Petra, the rose-red city carved into rock, became a hub, its wealth built on fragrance and fire. But as Rome declined, so too did demand, and the route was slowly reclaimed by the sand. Chapter 3. The Maritime Spice Network. Ocean as Empire. While land routes wove across continents, the sea held its own secrets. In the Indian Ocean, a vast maritime trade network connected East Africa, Arabia, India, Southeast Asia, and China. Monsoon winds were the compass. Merchants timed their voyages with the seasons, sailing wooden dhows and Chinese junks across waters filled with sharks, storms, and fortunes. From India came pepper and cardamom. From Indonesia, cinnamon and cloves. These spices weren't luxuries. They were currencies. Wars were fought for them. Kingdoms were built on them. Ports like Calicut, Malacca, and Zanzibar became gateways of exchange, not just for goods, but for language, belief, and power. Chapter 4. The Amber Road, Europe's Forgotten Artery. Long before the Silk Road, another path shimmered, though few remember it. The Amber Road. Amber, fossilized tree resin, was prized by the ancients for its golden glow. Used in jewelry, medicine, and ritual, it flowed from the Baltic shores, through Central Europe to the Mediterranean. Through forests and rivers, tribal trails became trade routes. The Romans called it aurum electrum, electric gold. They valued it so highly, they built roads to reach it. Though less famous, the Amber Road connected tribal Europe to the empires of the South, and quietly helped shape the continent. Chapter 5. The Trans-Saharan Gold Routes. Beneath the scorching sun of North Africa, caravans crossed the vast Sahara, guided by stars and salt. This was the Trans-Saharan Trade Network. From the forests of West Africa, traders brought gold, so much gold that when Mansa Musa, emperor of Mali, journeyed to Mecca, he crashed economies along the way. In return, salt, textiles, and horses came south. More than wealth flowed. Islam spread across West Africa. Cities like Timbuktu became centers of scholarship, with libraries that rivaled Europe's finest. The desert was not a barrier. It was a bridge, paved in gold and guided by faith. Chapter 6. When trade became empire. Trade routes didn't just connect, they transformed. The wealth they generated built cities, fueled armies, and justified conquest. Venice rose through its grip on Mediterranean trade. The Mongols protected and taxed the Silk Road. The age of exploration was born from the search for spices. But with wealth came war. The same roads that carried silk and gold also carried swords, disease, and colonizers. The very threads that wove civilizations together could also unravel them. Conclusion: the roads beneath our feet. We often think of borders as lines on a map, but the truth is, long before nations, there were routes, silent, winding trails that taught us how to connect, exchange, and evolve. They carried the first whispers of globalization. They showed us that isolation was an illusion, that from China to Rome, Mecca to Timbuktu, humanity has always been linked. And today, though many of those paths are buried, their legacy is not. This is Legacy Unearthed.